Hello and welcome to Nolo Time, episode 65. My name is Jovid Bliss, and with me is the most patient man in the world, Jojo.
Oh man, nice one, dude. Patient man in the world. I love it. Obed, it's so good to see you, brother. I'm so glad we're doing this tonight. It's gonna be a real fun episode here. I love your shirt, by the way.
Oh, thanks, man. It's I think this is Star Wars Weekends 2008, if I'm not wrong.
It looks good, man. I love it. Star Wars Legends. Weekends. Sorry, it says weekends. I thought it said Legends
Yeah,
on my
Star Wars
screen for a
Weekends.
second. It's weekends. I see it on there.
Yep.
Okay. Nice. Very nice, sir.
Back at the Hollywood studios when that was going on. That was a pretty neat event. They don't do it anymore because the whole park is Star Wars now. So
Yeah. You can't get enough Star Wars.
no, seriously.
Unless you're Bob Iger.
We'll talk about it because we got a little movie came out Tuesday. Just yesterday.
There it is.
Solo. Yeah, we'll take a look at that over the weekend, and I will let you guys know what I think because I haven't watched it yet. So,
Impressive. Most impressive.
Yeah, I am very curious about this movie, Joel. But man, we went to a place over the weekend that was quite a bit of fun, dude. Let's go ahead and tell our people here what's going on with that.
Yeah, man, we went to CEO and CEOtaku in Orlando, Florida, dude. And I tell you what, that was an amazing time for me. That was my first time at that event, and I know you had been there last year, Obed. So you had instantly told me, hey, this really grew. Like, this was not as small as it was the year before. A lot more people out there, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Just from the moment I actually peeked in and actually saw the crowd, I was like, yeah, this is at least double the amount of people. But when we actually went into the ballroom and saw the setup and the amount of people that were there, it was like quite possibly 3 times the people that I saw last year. To be honest with you, it was pretty crowded. I got really excited and really happy to see that the event's actually growing at this rate, and I'm still hoping that they leave it in Orlando, because I don't want this event to leave over to Daytona or any other shady place like that. Sorry if you're listening from Daytona. I'm sorry, but
much love.
Yeah. But it's you guys know what's up. You guys know what's up. I really want the event to stay in Orlando. And we'll see. I mean, there's people out there that are willing to give this guy's a break and provide a bigger venue. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. No, I was really impressed at how I know you said last year, I guess it was just one ballroom, and there was 2 this year.
Yep.
I liked how the layout, wasn't just you had, of course, I mean, everyone's there to see these competitive game, the fights going on, right? But you also had a nice artist alley. You had also this arcade room, and then in that room as well, you had a setup where you were able to bring your own stuff and start just jumping into matches and just having fun. Ironically enough, Obed, you pointed this out to me, and I was like, oh my gosh, oh snap. Like, it really it hit me because I wasn't thinking this way. For the longest time, I want to say for the first few hours, because we were there for quite a long time, man. For the first few hours, we did not see one Xbox in sight. No Xbox One S, no Xbox One X. Little Billy wasn't present for a while, man, and I was waiting for it. And then finally, as it came closer towards the end of our time being there, Obed goes, "Look, Joel, we found one." And it was just on the side. Nobody was playing it, but it was there.
It was actually in the artist alley. So it was actually one of the artists brought an Xbox with a monitor.
Yeah, it wasn't even
inside the competitive area. Well, the thing is that, Joel, these games in CEOtaku more specifically, it's anime fighting games. The Air Dashers, basically.
Yeah.
So in most of these games, only are either coming out only on PlayStation or PlayStation PC. And because PC is a little bit more obtuse, it's bigger equipment, more cables, a few other things. So just bringing in a PS4 is a lot more efficient. So all the games in the floor were being played on PS4s. I think the guys from Astro Gaming were there, and they had a PS4 Plus for their setup, for their demo setup. But other than that, that was the only thing out of the out of the ordinary on the floor. A couple of PS3s. There was a company called GG Labs. They were that we joked around because they have, I guess, an energy drink alternative for gamers. It's basically a green tea extract caffeine. We joked around for a while.
Oh my god!
Because I saw I'm a caffeine junkie, and I saw the thing is like, yo Joel, we need to go check it out. So we went there. so we go there and we check it out, and the girl's like, hey, so yeah, can I give you more information? I was like, yeah. So what's up with this? I like caffeine. It says that it has a lot of caffeine. What's up with this? So it ends up having like the equivalent of like 2 cups of coffee of caffeine, plus other nutrients and the such. I don't know what it is. I haven't snorted the powder there yet, Joe. So they had a lemon flavored beverage powder.
Yep.
I told Joe that I was gonna snort it and go in there like, let's go.
I said Oben's like his energy level got a little lower after lunch. Right, we went out and we had lunch together, and we had just gotten he had just gotten that powder right before we came there, right from the tea.
Oh.
And afterwards he was joking about having it. I said, dude, you have this thing, you're gonna just walk up to the main stage and like flip the table and be like, let's go guys, I want to go
Punk,
in.
I see you. We saw Punk over there. Punk the God.
From Mecha Fox.
Yeah, so he was there. So I was like, Punk, let's go. Let's do this.
Challenging guys.
Challenging. I challenge you. But it was a lot of fun, man. We
Awesome.
watched a lot of Guilty Gear because those pools were sick. That was sick. That was a lot of fun watching that. Of course, a lot of Dragon Ball Fighter Z.
Yeah.
That was all over the place. I think that was the most setups, right?
Yes, and I think Dragon Ball Fighter Z had the most hype, dude. I think for a while those guys watching were just super hype.
Yeah, and it's just such a fast-paced game. It's a lot of fun to watch and a lot of fun to play too. We were there and it's like, oh man, it's itching. I want to go back and head back in. I'm actually gonna do it this weekend because tomorrow there's a big update coming out. Cooler and Android 17 are out, and they're gonna rebalance. They're gonna release a new stage. So big update tomorrow. So I'm gonna head and do that over the weekend. But the event itself a lot more organized than last year. We saw security. That was a big thing because I didn't see any security there last year at all. So kudos for that. They, Orange County Sheriff's Office was there, plus hotel security. So that was a big plus from that side. And I mentioned it to you that the Artist Alley was a lot bigger. It was like double the size this year. As you mentioned, they had that arcade room with the bring your own console setup. So they basically had, I want to say about 30 monitors, right, Joe?
Yeah, it was
separate
great.
monitors, and you just bring your console, plug it in, and you want, play whatever you want.
Guys bringing their Switch, just docking it, just jumping into matches.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Overall, man, definitely a strong experience. I'm looking forward to doing it next year, maybe as a competitor. We'll see.
Oh, Open's gonna pull it out.
I think. Oh, hey, pull the controller out.
He's gonna come out there, man. He's gonna bring out his competitive shirt and all this. He's gonna be fully ready to go. He's his controller, his fight stick. He brought your controller too that day.
I did. I didn't bring my controller and my Vita.
Yeah,
just in case.
Man,
Yeah, we never know.
To go.
I was like, if Joe ditches me, I still have a Vita. That's fine.
I wouldn't do that.
No, we're good. But yeah, we spent pretty much all morning, most of the afternoon there. I mean, I would dare to say all the afternoon there on Saturday, and lots of fun, man. I'm looking forward to doing it again. I'm hoping they bring their big event back to Orlando. I went many years ago when it was still a smaller event, but it's it's growing. Whenever you go into one of these competitive gaming events, whether it be at the local level. CEOtaku was a little bit bigger because there's a lot of these guys are coming out from out of state. Some of the guys coming in from California, New York area, where the fighting game community is a little bit bigger than here in Florida, but definitely growing in Orlando. A lot, like we mentioned, a lot more people, a lot more cosplayers. Overall, it was a better event, better organized and everything. So, I'm looking forward to doing it again. Highly recommend it if you guys are into this sort of gaming events. It's just pay your spectator fee just to go for the day and hang out, and you see some interesting people and you get to watch some good gaming. So for sure it's worth it. But yeah, that's what I got for the what's up, and I think that's what we got, dude.
That's what we did.
Yeah, because that's what we did over the weekend, and it was quite a bit of fun. So
it was awesome.
Yeah. Joe, there's a movie that we thought was dead.
Yeah.
But it actually rose from the ashes like the phoenix. So I think we mentioned in a podcast a few weeks ago that X-Men Dark Phoenix was taken off of the upcoming movies from 21st Century Fox. And it came out this morning. They actually released a new poster for the movie, and the trailer is actually coming out tonight, around midnight Eastern, right, Joel?
That's right, 12:37 a.m. Eastern. I've got it on the nose for the late show with Stephen Colbert, if I'm not mistaken. So I guess that's going to be coming out. And I tell you what, when that does come out, you know that we're going to be watching it, and definitely our next episode will have a full-on reaction to it. But Obed, my reaction to just the news itself of this trailer coming out, the poster, means that they're going full-on marketing, means that they have probably a new release date that I'm assuming they're going to announce with this tonight as well.
They did. It's Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day?
Yeah. 2/14 next year, yeah.
Okay, so they have to then really push this, because that's a short time to market this movie. Similar to the way Solo, which you're going to be watching, was also marketed really last minute as well. So I definitely believe that this movie has been greenlit by Marvel Studios more than even just 21st Century Fox. I think they've probably screened it since they've been in this negotiations for a while. And even though all that's still being figured out, I think out of respect as a business, they've probably figured we need to know what you guys are doing with this movie, so that way they can figure out whatever the plans are for the MCU going forward. You asked me, Obed, when we found out this news, you said, Joel, on a scale of 1 to 10, what's the 10 being that it's very likely, what's the chances that we see some type of MCU connection in the trailer that comes out? And I told you very low. I actually would say there's 0 chance. But I'm not against it. I think if there is going to be a way that there's a connection, it's going to be something to do with one of the Infinity Stones. I don't think a character, I mean, we went through the list of characters that could be, right? Because in the 90s, you're talking like maybe a Sam Jackson, maybe a Captain Marvel, maybe a Phil Coulson, those kinds of characters. But honestly, I just don't see it happening. I think that they let them make the movie they made. Just put it out there already. There's no need to do more edits and more changes on it. They spent enough money on it. They're going to let this movie come out and be the movie that Simon Kinberg wanted to make. And I mean, Obed, will they get it right this time with the Phoenix? This is now another whip at it that they've had. So will they get it right this time? I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to tell, because Phoenix is it's a complex character, but it's in the same vein as Superman complex. Not because the character itself is complex, but because the power set that character has is very difficult to scale down into something more, I'd say closed off as a movie. In a comic book, you can extend these things and you can make it, a lot bigger. But when it comes to a movie, they especially comic book movies, they sort of like had definitely scaled back a lot of the powers that these characters have. So I think that would be my concern. I'd say, because I asked you that question earlier today, but I think under 50% that we see anything on the trailer that alludes to MCU during the movie, I'm about 70%. but as it stands right now, yeah, on the trailer we may not actually see anything that connects them together. The one thing, Joel, is that like you mentioned just now, the second go at the Phoenix, we saw it with X-Men Last Stand. Not a great movie. But at the same time, it was not a great movie because it had a lot of production problems too. Fox meddled around a little bit with it. The director dropped off, the original director, and then Brett Ratner took over. And I think Brett Ratner's not a good director. He's only done probably like one good movie, and that's Rush Hour. And everything else has been not good. And I think that was a problem, and then you're working with a complex power set character as the Phoenix, so maybe they'll be able to do it better. I think Apocalypse got a lot of crap. I don't think it's necessarily a bad movie. I think it's actually a decent movie. It's enjoyable. At least the movie itself, it's fun. So that it's a plus. Not to be taken seriously. If you go into this movie expecting freaking Winter Soldier, you're not. But just for fun, it's a fun movie. It is fun. I'm hoping this movie looks good, and I'm hoping this movie does well as when it comes out. Like you mentioned, they don't have a lot of marketing time, but they still have they can still put the trailer before Venom. I think Venom's gonna do good. They still have Wreck-It Ralph. They still have a couple of other movies that are coming out throughout the end of the year. Absolutely. Where they can just attach the trailer to.
Absolutely. Yeah, they'll go full steam marketing it with whatever budget they had for marketing, which I'm sure was pretty big for an X-Men movie. My biggest issue is with all the amount of reshoots, with the amount of back and forth they've had for this movie and the weird transition. I'm not gonna say even if this movie comes out and has issues, I think there's it's unfair to really judge it just because it's been through a lot for this movie to even come out. So let's see what trailer we get. Let's see what kind of movie we get in February. Regardless, I'm a big fan of the storyline. It's gonna be hard to watch this movie without Wolverine in it. I'm just being honest with you. Like that's my boy.
Maybe, I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe, yeah. But so we'll see when this movie comes out. But it got a lot of great talent behind it. We'll see, man. This is X-Men Dark Phoenix, guys, coming in February.
Yep. But Joel, we did get a trailer today for, or was it yesterday? I can't remember. The days are melding together. That's what happens when you're busy. So we got a trailer for Bumblebee, and I was pleasantly surprised, Joel. This actually looks pretty good.
Dude, that trailer was fantastic. And I'm not trying to overhype it. Like, I was not high in this. You can listen to the first episode that we had when I talked about this movie, the initial first trailer that came out. I wasn't high on it at all. I went to Comic-Con, and I was a little bit more into it because of the footage that I saw for the movie. But this trailer had something completely that I didn't see coming, which was some of the traditional appearances of some characters. Specifically for me was Optimus Prime. I didn't think Optimus Prime was going to be in this movie at all. And then you have that shot of him in the classic look.
Yeah. Dude, it's like this is what the first Transformers movie should have been. It was the G1 designs. They look great. Dude, I'm actually quite interested in this movie now.
So the way that Travis Knight talked about the movie at Comic-Con was as if it was, in some ways, an origin reboot for this franchise, like as if they're doing something from this, and you kind of got that sense. So I think should this movie perform well, and I actually really, from at least what I've seen the trailers, I hope it does perform well. So that way there could be now more of these kinds of stories up for the Transformers, right? Like you get an origin for Bumblebee, cool. You get an origin maybe for an Optimus Prime, which ironically enough, I remember I mentioned this to you that at Comic-Con we're sitting there in Hall H, and I recommend you guys look it up on YouTube if you ever get the chance. But it was so cool at the very end of the panel. Peter Cullen came right up and steps up to the microphone. Greetings, Hall H. What does an Autobot have to do to get a movie? And I'm sure that might have been intentional, because looking at what they did here with this trailer, at least, it does feel very much like an origin, and they might be resetting things to set it up for other movies.
Yeah, well, they did. Paramount did confirm that the series will be rebooted, but I wasn't expecting the reboot to happen with this movie. I thought this movie was going to be a spin-off of the Michael Bay movies, or a prequel to those, and it looks like it's actually a fresh. It's like almost a soft reboot.
A soft reboot would be fair.
Yeah, because it's like it kind of looks. It has that Michael Bay-ish look to it, but at the same time, some of the action sequences are a lot more discernible. You have completely new designs for the Transformers. I absolutely disliked those two because they changed Optimus Prime from the first three movies to the one in Age of Extinction and The Last Night. I hated that design, dude. That I was just not a big fan.
Smaller and
it's thinner. Yeah, it's like
it's like a big clunky, truck.
Exactly. Yeah. So like on the first movie, he looks fine, and I didn't mind him. And even on the second one, which I think is a movie, it gets a lot of crap because it's racist jokes and sexist jokes and all this happening. But it's an entertaining movie. The third one I really don't like, but the Autobots are cool, right? But in this one, it's like, dude, and then you see Soundwave, and Soundwave looks like G1 Soundwave, and Ravager comes out of his chest like a cassette tape, and Starscream has the vents on the side of his head, and it's really good. And
they got the designs right.
They definitely do. And they made Bumblebee smaller. He's again the VW Beetle,
right? And not a Camaro.
Not a Camaro. I think that the movie looks a lot more subdued versus the Michael Bay movies with firework explosions and all this stuff happening. I like it, and fan reaction has been very positive. Surprisingly, like you go on comments on YouTube, it's like, yo, this is what the first movie should have been. This looks good, and people are excited.
Now, in all fairness, I will put this precursor out there. For the last few Transformers movies, except for this last one, The Last Night, I believe it was the last one that just came out. I can't remember. The ones, everyone before, like those last few ones, all of the trailers for me, I thought looked great for those movies. I was like, this is the one that's going to save the Transformers franchise. And then I got sucked in, and there I was sitting in the movie theater, and I was like, oh my gosh, is a trash can on fire. But, but I mean, here I am again, Bumblebee. It's not Michael Bay. I've seen some footage for the movie already. I feel like I'm going to get something better. Don't let me down again, guys. Don't do it.
Well, I really didn't like those trailers for The Last Night. I thought it looked
that
dumb.
one I didn't care.
Yeah, it looked so dumb. Like the first three movies, the trailers were good, and even Age of Extinction,
that looked good.
But that movie's so boring and so long and so pointless. And so the nanomachines and all this. That movie, dude. Like that movie made me not want to see more Transformers movie because I didn't see it last night in the theater and I didn't buy it on Blu-ray. And I have all the Transformers movies on Blu-ray. Wow. Actually, I bought the first one twice because I bought it on DVD and on Blu-ray when it came out. So
wow, I like the first one a lot.
Yeah, I think that first one's charming and there's charm to it and I like it.
But see, this is what proves you we're not trying to come down on these things. Like we like Transformers, we like the original Transformers, right? We like the characters. It's just the portrayal of them in these movies. So we're not trying to come against Transformers as a whole. We hope the best for it.
Yeah. We'll see how this does, and hopefully this does okay. And they have John Cena in the movie. I didn't see him though, but they
I know I can't see him.
They're saying that he's there. Yeah. So, just moving right along. We talked about the Joker movie last week and that picture of Joaquin Phoenix that came out, and we shared our opinions on that. But then the very next day we had what they were calling a makeup test which ended up being actual final makeup for the movie, and I am intrigued even more now. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it was so funny because, like you just mentioned, the episode the day before, the day when we recorded, the day before that actual image and footage came out, I had said on the podcast, well, from the picture we saw of just Joaquin Phoenix, he's standing there. I said, well, it's interesting. Officially, we know he's gonna have the long hair and the outfit and appearance he had, and I said like, well, maybe they're gonna try and make him look like Heath Ledger or something, right? Because of having the long hair and all that, right? When he becomes Joker, and then we see this, and I love that it's very original, and it does not. He doesn't look like Heath Ledger. He looks like the Joker still. Like that's what I like. He still looks like the Joker. Probably looks more like the Joker than Jared Leto. And and I know that's a debate for some people, but I'm sorry, he looks like the Joker, and I think the only thing that still gets me with the movie, and I'm just going this based off some of the sound images I've seen, and even just the image of just him pre-Joker, right, just as a man. I said this to you, Obed. I think if they were to adapt some type of origin, I didn't ask for this movie, but if you're gonna do it as a comic book fan, I was hoping that you would take a little bit more of that, the Killing Joke route, a little bit more of that route to kind of show him, not to adapt that story, but I'm saying like where they allude to his origin in so many different comics. Maybe take a little more of that route and showing him as that man who was poor but very well kept, and he genuinely tried to do something, but a series of unfortunate events on top of then something that takes him over the edge, so leads him to become the Joker. But looking at what they have, he looks the part. Now I'm more concerned with the portrayal of him. If you're not going to make him this well-kept person, if he's already somebody who's a little grungy, a little edgy, he's got a blunt in his hand or whatever, walking down the street, right? In the photos we've seen.
A cigarette, yeah, because I saw that. There was like a leaked like scene that he was smoking, and then another clown approached him, and they started like talking and arguing, sort of, in the street, and then he grabbed the clown's nose and he tossed it, and in a very it was like that kind of jokey way, and that looked very interesting. So yeah, it was a cigarette.
No, I'm just joking around, but yes, no, it was a cigarette. But I'm just saying, like, if he's already this kind of, for lack of a better description, edgy human being, he's not this like person who's kind of small and keeps to himself, like, then when he does become the Joker, is it going to be that he crosses the line because so many bad stuff happens to him and he's just like, forget it, I want the joke to be on you kind of thing? Or is it going to be more of a he maybe, yes, I'm not saying he's going to be exposed to chemicals necessarily, but some stuff that actually transforms his mind in some regards to this alter ego that takes over him as a human being. I don't know, but all I'm hoping for at the end of the day is that he is a Joker who is very menacing and someone that I could see actually compete with the Batman, not somebody who's just out there, like, he's creepy, but the Batman would just slap him in the face and lock him in the back of his car and drive away.
Yeah, maybe he bumps into the Titans and just goes crazy.
He saw a few of those characters and he got triggered.
Saw Starfire, he got scarred for life and just went crazy. lost his damn mind.
He went to WB and he saw the execs and made him go crazy.
He saw the original cut of Justice League.
That's the one. That's the origin story, guys.
Man. Yeah. Just lost his mind.
Oh my gosh.
Oh boy. But it looks real interesting, real different. I'm liking the makeup. I'm liking that he has a lot of facial expressions. Like, he can tell. Joaquin Phoenix is one of those actors that can, say a sentence without opening his mouth. It's like he can look at something a certain way, and you know what he's thinking. He's that type of actor. So a lot of facial expressions, and I really like it. It looks very interesting. I can't wait to see actual footage of this, like put into like trailer. But we will see. We'll find out soon enough. I think this movie's coming out late next year, right?
That's right.
If I'm not wrong, yeah. So fairly soon. Um, Joe, we're gonna go into gaming news now. Big story that happened last week. There was a couple of things that happened during the week, but one big thing happened on Friday. The smaller things that happened during the week is that Capcom Vancouver, the guys behind the Joe, remind me of the Xbox zombie game that I always forget its name.
Oh, are you
Dead
talking?
Rising. Dead
Yep.
Rising. Thank you. I always forget about it. I was like, I never. All right, so let's start with that. I've never played Dead Rising, right? A couple of them were Xbox exclusives. A couple of, one or two came out for PS3 or PS4 or whatever, but never, it never caught my eye. But unfortunately, the studio behind those games, Capcom Vancouver, they were shut down last week. So we hope for the best for those guys that were affected by that. But I know that Capcom is taking care of them as they should, and they've already gotten offers from EA Vancouver and other the studios in Canada where they can move around. But the big thing that happened on Friday, Joe, and I'm gonna give you guys a warning. I have very strong opinions about everything, and that happened, and the studio itself, and it was Telltale Games, Joe. They went ahead and just pretty much shut down the studio. Skeleton crew of around 25 people, just to finish the business obligations, but they laid off the entirety of their development team, around 250 people that were affected. Rough stuff, dude. They apparently they asked everyone to leave the building within a half hour. No severance. 9 days of health insurance left. Like no warnings. People got hired the week before and actually had to move cross country. People that came to the U.S. to work for Telltale, and now they could be losing their visas because they're out of work, so they have to go back to their home country. Crazy stuff, dude. Pretty bad what happened here. Telltale, of course, being mostly famous for their Walking Dead series, more specifically that first Walking Dead game. Joel, before I go into my strong opinion section about this, what do you think about all that happened?
I saw this and I thought to myself, well, for sure these guys, they saw that this was going down as a business, and for sure they took care of their employees on their way out, right? That's why they're trying to shut it down so quick, because they're trying to say, like, while we still can get ahead of ourselves, let's do this. And then you see the details, and that's the part that really bothered me the most. I didn't foresee these guys coming down. I know when I talked to you, and you'll probably go into it now shortly, but you had said to me, Joel, like they were trying to do too much. And looking at it now from a holistic standing back, right? Hindsight is 2020. I look at it and I get and understand now where these guys were trying to do so much and really hurt themselves, unfortunately. And I personally wasn't that large of a fan of their stylistic games. I know it's a niche. There's certain people who just love this stuff. It just wasn't me. Including even on PS Plus, they had for free the Batman Telltale series for a little bit there, and I didn't even grab it, and it was free. Yeah. You did, but I didn't even grab that.
Yeah, I did. I played it, and I gotta say I did enjoy it. I mean, it wasn't mind blowing, but it was interesting enough to make me finish the whole thing. So
yeah, so like for me, like I wasn't a big fan of their games personally, and I still was shocked though because of their name is big enough to see them go down. But the biggest issue I had is the people losing their jobs and losing it so quickly. And there's literally nothing. It's a nightmare scenario. Like when you really read what happened to these people, hey, get your stuff and just get out. Like now, that's it. It's over. That's a nightmare. That's like one of the worst cases you could have. Is that many people massive losing their jobs. But fortunately enough, the news has come out that people like Ubisoft right away and some other even local studios we talked about, Obey, Iron Galaxy, and other people that have said, hey, talk to us if you're looking for work, and we'll see what we can do. And that's wonderful, the industry helping each other, right? But this whole circumstance together is really really saddening, because it's not a matter of the company going down, it's a matter of people's lives that really irks me.
Yeah, what I mentioned to you is that I kind of saw this happening from a mile away. They were in too deep. They were way over their heads with projects, and they had Minecraft story mode, and Guardians of the Galaxy, and Batman, and The Walking Dead, and Game of Thrones, and all this stuff that they had going on. They were gonna do a Stranger Things game that, of course, got canceled. It's they were taking on too much for their own good, and instead of focusing on putting out high quality, high production value stuff, they kept using that trash engine that they were using, and they kept pushing out all of these games instead of just focusing on, let's do this one thing the best we can, and then we can move to our next project. That was their downfall, in my opinion. I'm gonna make a really crazy statement here, Joe. Probably not gonna be very, very popular with some. In my personal opinion, I think Telltale was one of the most overrated studios in all of gaming. Because they put out, before putting out The Walking Dead, they put out, I don't know if you know that, what's out there. They put out a Back to the Future adventure game. I think came out in 2010. Before Walking Dead, they also did a Jurassic Park game. So they've been using licensed properties for a while, and they were able to get around it. Of course, the first season of Walking Dead being their big breakout. But it's just that one of those things that it never grabbed me. And I played the Batman game because it was free. Me personally, I was not going to spend my money on one of those games because it's not necessarily my cup of tea. Yeah, they do some interesting things, and they're sort of kind of well written, but at the end of the day, it's the same formula for every game, and they all look the same. And great, the voice actors are fine. You get Troy Baker, and you get this high profile voice actors to be in your game. And I'm not saying this is the fault of the people that were laid off. Absolutely not, because those guys were doing the best they could, right? They were working their ass off, working 70 hours a week, not getting paid overtime on crunch time. They were doing their jobs. It just came from above. The problem came from management. And having management go into this sort of crazy, like, let's do this thing, let's do this other thing, let's do this other thing, that caused quality to go down. I know that there's certain internet personalities like, oh my god, Telltale, Walking Dead, Telltale, Telltale this, Telltale that. I was never, they never grabbed me. Like, none of their properties grabbed me. I think the reason The Walking Dead did as good as it did is because The Walking Dead was doing great on TV back then, but now no one cares, and no one's probably going to care about this. They released their second episode for the last season yesterday. They asked for, after they laid off their people, they said they were willing to partner with another studio to finish the product, and studios were saying, yo, how about you pay your people and then you worry about the product, which is what you're supposed to be if you're a decent human being, right? And then today they announced that they're pulling season 2 off of all the stores, and they're not gonna sell it. So lost product. Okay, and I gotta go with the fanboys here. I got one for the fanboys. So, fanboys, when you ask people to work for free, and do things for you. It's like, no, if you really love this game, you need to work for free and finish it so I can enjoy it. There's a couple words for you that I'm not willing to say on this family friendly podcast. So
yeah, that's entitlement right there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's not how the world works, kids. So get used to it. But yeah, I mean, hopefully these guys that got laid off can land on their feet. A lot of studios, like what you mentioned, Ubisoft is just like, hey, let's have a lunch and let's talk jobs and let's see what we can do for you guys. I know that Ubisoft could definitely use guys like that could be able to program a choice based story driven thing, maybe for like an Assassin's Creed game. Who knows? So my best to all of you guys affected, and hopefully everything's gonna work out. Management, you can you know what you can do. So yeah, that's that. But Joel, yeah, I think that technical limitations imposed by management hindered the quality of the products, and I just don't think it was a great product to begin with. So that's my opinion.
Things don't just happen, guys. There's always a cause for the effect.
Absolutely. But we'll see. I know that we'll have updates in this story as it progresses. But Joel, moving along, PlayStation fans rejoice, sorta, because I know that this was a big thing and a big hubbub a few weeks ago when we talked about it too. About crossplay on PS4. There was a press release this morning saying that Fortnite crossplay goes live today. Or technically they're calling it a beta, right? They're like exploring the marketplace and see it's happening. Yeah.
You don't put beta out there to not try and make it happen.
Yeah. So this would basically connect the PS4 version with the Xbox One, Switch, PC, Mac, Android, and iOS, making it the first game ever that is 100% crossplay on everything. And I say, Joe, big win for Fortnite. I mean, I'm not into Fortnite. I know it's a big thing, but you know my opinion about Fortnite. I'm not gonna share it with you guys. I would share it. I would share it privately. I won't share them on the internet.
Yep, not on the record.
But big thing. It's a big thing. So.
No, that really is. And I gotta say, when we first heard the story about like the pushback in the language that was used by Sony for them initially not having crossplay for Fortnite. To me, and I like PlayStation. I'm a big fan of them, of what they're doing over there. And I'll even admit I didn't understand. I couldn't wrap my head around why would you not do this? Like it Absolutely. Just the language and the wording behind it to me just feel like it was hurting them more than it was helping them, and it just didn't make sense. So as much as a fan, I have to call a spade a spade. I didn't get it. I didn't understand it. And I was hopeful that they would change their mind, and thank goodness they did. And I think it's a win for the community as a whole, just because it just makes sense. It brings more people together, more experiences now together that people wanted, and it was an easy flip of a switch kind of thing. Like, this is not groundbreaking, crazy stuff going on here, but it's awesome to know how this one is the one that brings together this cross-platform between the PCs and the Xbox and the phones, and it's amazing how much has come together through this one platform that is Fortnite. I'm not a crazy fan myself. I have my own opinions, but yes,
Joe was shared on the internet either.
I will not do that either. We've had this talk. People who know me, you know my thoughts on this, but. Yeah,
and people who are involved with Fortnite and the such know our opinions about it as well. So.
That is true. That is true. But yeah, no, good win for the community there.
Yeah. This was. I mean, I think that Sony is listening to either their consumers or listening to what the market is saying. So it was a big deal, and I'm glad that they actually took action and proved themselves wrong, which sometimes it's really hard to do. In a lot of cases, which is something that I've applauded the Xbox One or the Xbox team for doing. You know, they've definitely acknowledged their flaws, and they've tried to work hard and fixing them. So the same thing goes for Sony. You know, this thing was a big, you know, like, yo, you really dropped the ball with this thing. So good to know that they're actually working on getting this thing back up and running. And yeah, we'll see what's next. Maybe Rocket League, possibly. Who knows?
I like Rocket League though. I don't know about you, but I play Rocket League's fun, man.
It's fun, yeah. Yeah, it's different, and it's different enough. Yeah, Fortnite has its itch. I know.
Be careful a little bit. Be careful.
I know. No, the kids are coming. Oh, 12 years old. So I mean, it has its appeal, right? Because it definitely has an appeal and a certain appeal, and yeah, you know, a certain look that it's absolutely very appealing. Joel, will Call of Duty have crossplay like this when it comes out, the blackout mode?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't think this is monumental, dude, what Fortnite's done. Yeah. There will be crossplay, but I don't know what's the next one to hit it off at this level. But does this make it easier for this to happen now? Like, because will other people say, hey, they're going to reference Fortnite now whenever they go into these conversations about having this cross-platform stuff? Is that going to be now the one that sets the precedence for everything else? I don't know, but I'm still hesitant, to see that this happens for that many franchises, even though Call of Duty's massive. So would I like to see it happen more? Yes. Will it happen? I'm hesitant, dude. I don't know.
Yeah, Call of Duty, I mean, it's always the #1 selling game of the year when it comes out. I mean, this year may be different because of Red Dead, but, you know, we'll see. But what I've heard about and what I've seen about Blackout is that, you know, people like it quite a bit. And what I saw was really cool. And if there's a game out there right now, PUBG's done. Like, PUBG has no chance of coming back unless they come out with a PUBG 2 and they revamp everything from the ground up. I think their time, you know, came and went already. But if there's a franchise that can take on, you know, Fortnite and have Fortnite innovate and be better, it's Call of Duty. So we'll see. I mean, if the demand's there, it should be pretty interesting because it could happen.
Yeah, man. We'll see.
Yeah. The other thing is a couple of quick news. I can't remember if I mentioned it last week, but there's a Castlevania collection coming out for PS4, and they confirmed that this is a PS4 exclusive bundle. It's called Castlevania Requiem, and it's basically Castlevania Rondo of Blood and Castlevania Symphony of the Night coming out for PS4. $20 bundle. If you're a PS Plus subscriber, I think it's $15 if I'm not wrong. I'm getting it. It's Symphony of the Night. I gotta have it. So
it's coming really quick too.
Yeah, coming out October 26th.
It's a month from today.
Yeah, so just before Halloween. So I may delay my yearly playthrough and just play on a PS4 this time.
Well, it's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, because I always start like October 1st, grab Symphony of the Night, play through, and you know, that's my Halloween game. So I may do something different. I may play RE4 this year.
Go Hold back to off. RE4. Wait for this one to come out.
I didn't play. Yeah, I didn't play RE4 last year. I played it the year before when it came out on PS4. So I'll give RE4 a playthrough. It's one of my favorite games ever. Man. So.
Yep, I remember E3.
Oh yeah. Speaking of E3, Joel, I actually
bumping me off on the side. I remember. So Joel, it's RE.
So I did actually pre-order RE2 this week.
Surprise.
No, I pre-ordered the deluxe edition that comes with the original soundtrack. So looking forward to that. I'm already putting some money away for 2019, Joel. I think I'm gonna hold off this year. I think I'm good. I'm gonna
No, Obed, you're not
no
doing it right, Obed.
no
If you
no.
don't pick up that Spider-Man PS4,
I will. I will.
see, guys, you knew I'd plug Spider-Man in there
No,
somewhere.
yeah. I'll grab it for. That's gonna be my December game.
Oh, see,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
there's
Because
smart
I
man.
have a backlog. I want to get through my backlog.
Merry
I
Christmas.
definitely yeah. Yeah, I gotta start planning that Christmas vacation for to catch up on all those games. Yeah, but cool news. Looks like Konami is making a slow, sort of like very careful push on games again, Joe, because they just released Zone of the Enders, Mars, uh, on PS4 that came out a couple of weeks ago. Now they're pushing Castlevania again. It looks like they're trying to get into the good side of the fans. So you know what? I gave Capcom a second chance after all their mistakes back in the early 2010s. So I'll give Konami another chance. If they come out with good products, who am I to not? Who am I to deny myself of playing a good video game?
Oh man, Konami.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. Joel, the other thing that we got today is that Kingdom Hearts 3, another game that I'm looking forward to with uh, with a lot of excitement, I would say.
Yeah.
They released today that a lot of the Disney voice actors are going to be back. Interestingly enough, Haley Joel Osment, who played Sora in all the previous games, is going to be back as Sora in this game. And of course, we got the legendary Tony Anselmo and Bill Farmer as Donald and Goofy, respectively. They are, they've been doing Donald and Goofy for the last 30 years, so these guys are legends in my eyes. And the big thing, Joel, is that they pretty much got everyone back for Frozen on Kingdom Hearts 3.
They will not let that go.
Nope. You had to say it.
Yeah, that's right.
So, Josh Gad, Kristen Bell, Idina Menzel, and Jonathan Groff are going to be back for Frozen. Zachary Levi is going to be back as Flynn Rider for the Tangled world. And the other big thing is that Tate Donovan, who played Hercules on the original movie, is going to reprise his role, and also the previous Kingdom Hearts games. So yeah, this is pretty big. Disney. It looks like Square Enix has Disney money for this one, and I'm really looking forward to this game, man.
Yeah, I know people that I know that have been a fan of this franchise for a while and have different opinions and different episodes of the franchise. People are really looking forward to this one, dude. So I mean, I myself, I'm not been into it, and this one is drawing me into it. So I'm interested, dude. This is good stuff. But bringing everybody back together, very nice, very nice.
Yeah, it's crazy. This game keeps looking better and better. By the way, it's like if you haven't played 1 and 2, you owe it to yourself, especially two. It's a fantastic game. So
Nice.
so definitely, if you have the time, just give them a chance because they're a lot of fun. But that's what I got. Other than that, Joel, just real quick, we talked about Devil May Cry 5 a lot last week. A little bit of news came out that the game will have microtransactions for to basically level up your character, which a lot of people are saying. I was like, oh, this sucks. All microtransactions are back and whatnot. It's fine, guys. It's not gonna affect the game too much. Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition had the same microtransactions. You can buy your blue orbs and red orbs and whatnot, and whatever. I got through the game I did multiple playthroughs on Special Edition of 4, and I never bought anything. So you guys will be fine. No worries.
Yep. No worries, guys. But yeah, man, that's it for me too. I know next week, guys, you want to make sure you listen to our show because we're gonna have Obed reacts to Han Solo. That our reaction to X-Men Dark Phoenix trailer that's coming out tonight. So next week's gonna be another going on top of who knows whatever decides to break on the internet. You know we'll be here to cover it. But thank you so much for taking time out of your day to listen to us here on No Load Time, guys. We really appreciate it. We want you to be our friends because we're friends here at No Load Time. So go ahead and follow us on social media at No Load Time. That's at No Load Time on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. At No Load Time. We also want you to make sure you're subscribed to our show. So go ahead and give us a subscription on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, and YouTube. If you're an iTunes subscriber, if you could throw us a review, that always helps out as well. And we also want to welcome you to send in your feedback to us, right? So we talk about a lot of amazing topics here. There's a lot of stuff that's going on out there that we just don't cover. But send us your feedback, questions, comments, concerns, different things that you maybe want us to discuss here on the show. Send it in to us. Send an email to noloadtime@gmail.com. That's noloadtime@gmail.com. You could also, of course, private message us through social media as well. But we always welcome it here. Thank you again so much, and we look forward to seeing you on the next episode of No Load Time.
Yep. Thank you, guys, and we'll see you again next week.